On this episode of Geek Dad Live, Ralph and Jay share the past week in Geek. Hey everybody, and welcome to Geek Dad Live. We are here, as always, on Thursdays at 9 p.m. Make sure you set your calendar to it. I posted a new video earlier today, and Old School Shinobi commented on the video. It was like, hey, are you still doing the show? I was like, yep, still happening.
Yeah.
As long as Ralph and I are alive and relatively have things to talk about, we will be here. But
right.
already have some people in the chat. The aforementioned Old School Shinobi, welcome, hello. Gold Digger in the house, as well as PD Dubs, hello, and welcome. The simulcast over Facebook Live last week seemed to be a success, so we will keep simulcasting to both. But StreamYard, the service that we use, can actually do even more services at the same time. So maybe next week we can try to simulcast over Twitter, over Instagram.
Oh,
we'll be broadcast across everywhere.
Sounds good to me.
Is Periscope still a thing?
I don't know. I think when you go through like Twitter Live, it's under the banner of Periscope.
Oh, okay.
I could be wrong.
Now. Okay, that makes sense.
Could be wrong. I'm not seeing any of the comments, but I guess they'll pop them up anyway.
If you're in StreamYard, you should be able to see them. If you just click comments up there, do you have that option? Weird. All right. Well,
no biggie. We will pop them all up.
Exactly. I do. I try to do a good job here. Old School Shinobi suggests smoke signals. Not a bad idea. We can go with that. But
not in Southern California.
Oh, that's true. That is a bad idea.
We've already got smoke signals.
Anyone getting into collecting these 6-inch G.I. Joes? Man, it's tough to collect toys in 2020. Yeah, it's sitting right over here. I probably should have brought it over here to actually talk about it today, but I pre-ordered the kind of quote-unquote convention exclusive Snake Eyes set from Hasbro Pulse, and it finally came in this week. But I kind of like the normal retail release better, and that version of it, that exclusive version of it, is selling for like 3.5 times its original price that I paid for it. So I'm probably going to sell that one and just buy the normal retail one, because that's how it goes sometimes.
Right.
But it's been a struggle to find anything right now. Like toy hunting has gotten extreme just to try and find this stuff at retail. Masters of the Universe Origins kind of dropped live this past week. I was able to find some things, but no figures have been found in the Raleigh-Durham area yet. And yeah, the G.I. Joe line has been popping up. They get bought out immediately. The NECA Ninja Turtle stuff is getting picked off left and right. And what we're running into as collectors is, one, you have scalpers. There's a website called Bricklink where people can like search UPCs and find out if it's in the store and like just snipe those stores essentially. But also employees at Walmart, Target, wherever are like snatching them before and buying them before they even hit the shelves. So it's a ruthless world out there, Ralph. I don't know if you're aware of how rough it is.
I'm glad I'm not really in it that deep. I've been watching your videos, and today you did the Prince Adam video, and I'm like, oh man, I think that's the one I would get. He looks so cool.
He does. He turned out
bright
awesome.
Best.
Yeah, the colors are great. Like from all the Motu Origin stuff, the colors are just fantastic. So I'm really proud of everything that they're doing. But yeah, let's do some housekeeping for the past week on Geek Dad Life. I uploaded a whole bunch of videos. And let's see, I need that Destro. That Destro is fantastic. And if you don't know, we're talking about, they made like another exclusive like leopard print gold helmeted Destro that looks freaking awesome. All Music fan in the house. Hello, All Music. Good to see you. Been loving the Motu Origins reviews. Thank you. They've been fun. So yeah, I have been stacked in doing these reviews this week. I think I posted 4 videos this past week. So if you haven't seen them yet, let me pull up some of the images here. Yes, so did Evil Lyn, also did Man at Arms, as well as Beastman. And then, yeah, just earlier today posted my review of the Prince Adam and the Sky Sled 2-pack. You can go watch that now on youtube.com/geekdadlife, or geekdad.life is a shortcut. It'll take you there. So, yeah, very, very Masters of the Universe heavy this past week. And then on Sunday, because starting tomorrow, PowerCon, which is like the He-Man centric convention that's in, I think it's in Anaheim, or it's not that far from you, Ralph. It's a small convention, but
all right.
Mattel usually will set up and announce their stuff, and they're going online since that's what a lot of people are doing. So there will be panels by Mattel, and we'll find out a lot of new details about future releases for the Masters of the Universe Origins line. And John and I from Toy Geeks will be doing a show on Sunday. We're going to live stream that show to talk about the news and the latest happenings from the Motu Origins line on Toy Geeks on Sunday at 2 p.m. Eastern. So Sunday at 2 p.m. Eastern, John and I from the podcast Toy Geeks will be talking about all the latest Motu Origins news.
You think there's going to be Stratos?
I hope so. I love Stratos.
I feel like he's been on some of the packaging as far as the paintings and stuff.
Yep.
He's my dude. I think I mentioned that last week, how I turned my barbecue into a silver hawk. I think any dude with like wings on his arms is my main dude.
That's fair. Yeah. But in between all of this He-Man goodness, I do actually have a Ghostbusters review that's coming up, and I actually whipped together a little trailer exclusive for Geek Dad Live for the next episode of Geek Dad Live, which will drop Saturday night. Here is the exclusive trailer for the next episode of Geek Dad Live. Yes, I will be reviewing the last two Jumbo Giant XL versions of the Companion Ghost made by Toy Source Studios. They made the last two that they hadn't done yet from the first series of figures. So be on the lookout for that. These are great. I freaking love these things. I keep them, like, I don't joke, I keep them here by my desk. So they are all here in their bright, translucent color glory. So be on the lookout for that on Saturday night.
Those pins look cool. I don't really collect a lot of toys because of the lack of shelf space, but I do get a lot of pins.
Yep.
A friend of mine has a company, and they released a Ecto Cooler pin. It's the box, the little box with the straw in it. I'll send one to you.
Okay. Well, I got one. I wonder if I got the one from your friend, because I did get one. Was it recently or years ago?
I think it might have been a while ago.
I think I got. That's your friend.
Yeah.
I think I have that pin.
Yeah.
It's a fantastic pin. Was it on Patty LaPel, or was it on
No, it was on Yesterday's.
Maybe I got it from. I don't know. I saw it and I was like, "That's amazing," and I picked it up.
Yeah.
It's a really good pin. I think it's on my my jean jacket. That's jean jacket worthy, that pin. That's a really good one.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ralph and I usually at Comic-Con we will compare pins on your satchel and my backpack. But you stick to pretty or it seems like you stick very Green Lantern heavy on your lapel pin game.
I actually, I have a couple. I don't have that many, but I have this this fig pin of Hal Jordan.
Oh, that's nice. I haven't gotten any of the fig pins. That looks nice.
They're cool. They look like action figures, and you can display them, and you can take them out use them, and then put them right back in and display them on your shelf. This one's kind of in an extra actual, like a little extra plastic sleeve.
Yep.
They're they're just a box, a little display box.
That's awesome.
And they have like, they're really cool.
Yeah, that's really nice. That packaging is really nice.
Yeah. Great for displaying.
Ryan Moore says, invented by Lynn Figpin. No.
Stop.
Oh man. A lot of conversations going on, kind of even outside of this conversation. But yeah, a lot of good toys coming out right now.
Right.
Good Star Wars stuff too. I'm really excited because I think my pre-orders for the Star Wars Rebels wave, like the re-release of the Star Wars, because people are starting to get them. I think Mariano here says the Commander Wolf will be coming from Hasbro Pulse. I ordered that line from Hasbro Pulse, so I hope it's going to be coming soon because I think it's. I'm really excited for them because I missed out when they were retail and secondary market prices on those got really high, really fast. So really excited because they're updating the head sculpts. They look even better than the first releases. And I'm finally getting like a 6-inch figure version of Ahsoka, which I'm pumped about. But speaking of Ahsoka, so, how much of Clone Wars did you watch since we last?
I've watched 0 since. I didn't even think. I've been really busy. There's this is actually the first week where I have an excuse. But I did watch Black Hole this week, and I did watch for the first time, and I did watch Power Rangers. Power Rangers 2017. I got my listen, here's the deal. It's really tough to watch it during the day. And then at night we've been watching Schitt's Creek too. We're almost done with that. We have like 4 more episodes. I'm very sad. But
I'm saving the last season for when it comes on Netflix because I'm not ready. I'm not ready to say goodbye. Oh, it
is on Netflix. Season 5, right? Or is there a 6th season?
There's a 6th season. It's dropping in October.
Oh. Okay, cool. I'm good. I'm going to blast through those, and then I'll get to Clone Wars. No, dude. Okay, so I've been watching Power Rangers on Netflix. I don't know if you're into Power Rangers that much.
Like the original Mighty Morphin Power Rangers or the new movie?
Yeah.
Okay.
But last night I watched the new movie. I thought it was awesome.
The new movie's great. And again, I love. There's my original Power Rangers. Those are. The red, blue, and black are my originals from childhood. Every other, including I have the Megazord and the Zord. I have them all. But the rest of those I found at a estate sale. It's one of my.
Look like they're in good shape.
They're really good shape. It was an amazing find, and it's one of my favorite finds ever. It was an estate sale, and there's I think it's estatesales.net. So you can search throughout the country estate sales, and usually they'll post pictures of stuff. And I really wanted to go this. It was in downtown Raleigh, an older home. It was in the rich part of town. So rich people estate sales are good stuff. Yeah. And there was a box of toys that they had a picture of, and it was an amazing box. Just tons of great stuff. And I was like, I got it. It had so much stuff in there. I was like, I gotta go there. So I get there early. You usually have to get there really early for an estate sale. I think I got there at 6 a.m. It was going to open at 8. You get a tag, and then you can come back, when it gets closer to opening the doors. So I was 4th in line. The guy who was 3rd got the box of toys, the thing that I really, really wanted. And I was like, no. So I was sad and just depressed. I was like, well, I'm here. I've just spent hours just for this one thing and I've missed it. And I'm watching this guy buy it. I'm like, ugh. So I'm going to walk around and see what's around. And then I'm going around, nothing really else inside the house. And then there's stuff outside. There's lawn stuff they're selling. And then there's a little shed in the back. So let me see the shed. I'm looking around. And there is a big, one of those gallon, 5-gallon container things, a big tote container, a Rubbermaid or whatever, and it had $5 stacked on it or stuck on it. And I open it up, and it is every single Power Ranger thing from the first year.
Oh no!
All the figures, the Megazord, all the weapons, like so much stuff, hundreds and hundreds of dollars worth of Power Rangers.
$5.
$5. And I guarantee, like at that point, they were just like labeling stuff because they didn't even take a picture of it. They were just like, right, I get this shit done. And I was just like, oh my God, $5. And I take it and I just go up and I go up to the thing and they didn't even look inside. It's like $5. Okay. And I get paid the $5 and I walked out of there so just
wow.
And so, yeah, like, so again, you never know. Most of the time they're best, but that one, woo.
Wow. That's awesome.
Yeah. I was really pumped. Really.
Did you end up selling all of them except for the ones on your shelf?
No, I think I kept a lot of it. Because funny enough, I found another huge collection of Power Rangers from somebody else, like mock sealed stuff. So I sold all of that, and it kind of worked out really nice that I don't think I sold anything. So I kept them, except for the figures I already had. So the Red Ranger, Black Ranger, and Blue Ranger. So I sold the doubles out of those, but everybody else that I didn't have, I kept, and it's up there on my shelf.
Wow.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah, Richard Crowns. Try not to happy dance till you're down. Definitely. Because the guy that got the box of the stuff I wanted was still there. And he was finally checking out. And I looked, I asked, like, oh, so what was in there? And it was fine, but it was not even close. And I think they charged way more for that box. I think they charged like $30 for that box of stuff. So one of my favorites. It was, I think I total cost of everything at the time, this was 7 or 8 years ago, I think it was worth $820 or something.
Jeez.
Stuff.
Wow.
So yeah, it was for $5. It was a great find. $5. Okay, so you've always been a Power Rangers fan, or have you like recently gotten into it?
No, I'm always.
Okay.
Always. And I was way too old for it at the time.
Because it was 94. I felt like
it's like 93. I was 16.
Yep.
I was 16 years old. But being like a Godzilla fan and stuff, I mean, I got to watch like a mini Godzilla movie every day of the week, Monday through Friday. And so
I remember when I saw the commercial for it, and I loved Voltron as a kid, the cartoon. I was like, oh my God, they're making a live action Voltron. What? Like there's no internet or anything. I didn't know it. It's just like I saw an ad on TV for it.
Right.
And that was
and I grew up with Voltron and Transor Z and Battle for the Planets, Battle of the Planets, all that stuff.
Yeah.
That was always like, if you were to wake up at like 6 a.m, those kind of anime shows would come on before like 7 o'clock Ninja Turtles.
Yep.
And stuff like that.
Yep.
So it was like watching a live action, Voltron or Transor Z or something. I was like, oh man, I was into it. I was a little bit old, but I didn't care. I still don't care. I still love it.
I loved it. I absolutely I fell head over heels. I consider it like my last thing that I loved as a kid versus being a collector, which Star Wars was in 5. And it was, I don't know if you tried to collect this stuff back then, but it was like the hot item. I remember you had to, like, you could never find them in retail. It was impossible, at least like for normal toy buying. And these figures, we couldn't find them. We couldn't find them anywhere. I remember the Targets, and I think the Walmart, we didn't have Walmarts, but the Targets, they had a raffle. So you'd wait in line to get a raffle ticket, and you didn't know what you were going to get, and they would just give you the toy. It could be any Power Rangers toy. So it could be like a piece of crap that you never wanted, but that was the only, like, guarantee that you would get a Power Ranger toy. That's how nuts it was in that first year. Like, you couldn't find anything. And I got the tapes, and they would have the adverts for the Power Rangers toys, and I just that one just got me like, and one of my like good friends had the Red Ranger, and I wanted it so bad. And I remember like I traded him so much stuff to get the Red Ranger, and I gave him like way more worth than to get the Red. So I got the Red Ranger, and then that kid's mom got really ticked and then made me give it back to him.
Wow.
Yeah. So that next year, or maybe not even maybe 6 months later, they finally started hitting stores more regularly, and that's when I got my Red Ranger, Blue Ranger, and Black Ranger, and that's the ones I still have to this day. But I love
characters for Jay.
Huh?
No girl characters for Jay.
They Pink Ranger and Yellow Ranger. You couldn't find the Pink Ranger. Was the hardest one to find. You could not. That was one of those ones that I never found one in the wild. I never found one at retail until I found them 20 years later that you could just find in a garage sale. I would have loved to have all 5, but no go for me. But my first one was the Green Ranger. It was at KB Toys. It was after Christmas. It was for my birthday. My grandma would take me to KB Toys or a toy store and they had the Green Ranger set that came with the Green Dragon Zord. Now, I'm guessing you prefer the Green Dragon Zord since you are a Kaiju Godzilla fan.
Yeah, I like the Dragon Zord, Megazords. I like all the Zords.
Mm-hmm.
Green Ranger's my favorite. I like it in the Japanese footage. I can't stand him in the American footage because his shield looks like puffy, glittery, sewn on fabric that a mom would make for Halloween.
Yeah. Yep.
But dude, he's just so awesome. Sideshow at their Comic-Con thing a couple weekends ago, they posted images of their new Green Ranger statue. Have you seen that thing?
No, let me look it up.
It's a huge statue, and it's like the splashing water base with the Dragon Zord tail coming out, and Green Ranger sliding on it like Fred Flintstone. It is awesome. Yeah, I think it might be a premium format statue. I'm not sure, but it's free. They showed it at their live stream 2 weekends ago.
Okay,
it's definitely Sideshow.
Yep, I got
it.
Yeah, keep talking. I'm gonna.
Dude, it's like it looks like it's like 3 feet tall. Like it looks huge. If I had any kind of space whatsoever, I would want that somewhere.
Yeah, I want to share the picture of it next to a human being because it is giant. It's 1/4 scale, which just the human alone is pretty big.
Right. And he's standing on the tail of the Dragon Zord, which is in the water. Like Tommy, like the Green Ranger's was the coolest guy.
He was.
Yeah.
Like, the Green Ranger was the best, and green's my favorite color. But
me too.
So cool. He single-handedly took down or could have taken down all of the other Rangers.
Right.
But yeah, here it is.
Dude.
That's amazing.
25 inches tall. Look at that thing. And he's got the dragon flute.
Yep.
Yeah, dude, that's it. That's stuff right there.
You have to have the space for that is right. I feel fortunate. I have a toy room, and it's a fairly decent sized toy room, but I couldn't fit that. In here.
If I had room for it, I would want that.
What is this? Is this mantle worthy? Is this kind of in your living room, on the coffee table kind of thing? It's that level of art for you, or no?
I think it's more by my desk where I can look at it.
Mm-hmm.
Somewhere where I can see it.
Yeah,
it's cool, man.
This thing is it's
look at that, dude.
That is dope, and it's gigantic. Now, see, that's where
perfect.
I lament not being at Comic-Con this year because usually Sideshow has a gigantic booth, and they would totally have that out.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
I have no idea. What do you think the price point is? 800?
It's on.
It's got to be up there.
Yeah, I think the pre-order's up now. $999.99.
and shipping's probably at least $60. It's
maybe at that point you're getting free shipping. I think you get free shipping at that point.
Maybe. I don't know.
But what I love about it is the actual suit is like cloth, like it's actual.
Yeah, it's their premium format figure.
Oh, you have to. Oh, it's join a waitlist. It's already waitlisted. They're only making 193 of them.
Oh,
so
I won't get one. Is what you're saying?
Well, maybe somebody listening to this right now would give.
No, they're not. Don't do that. I don't have room for it.
Mariana says, no, AJ. Jason would take down Tommy if need be. I'm a Jason fan too. Pre-Tommy, Jason's the man. I feel bad for Jason because he kind of got pushed out.
But how cool was Jason when he had the gold shield from Green Ranger? That looked tight.
Yep.
Can you do that with your toys? Does the shield come off?
Shield if you want to, yeah.
That's cool.
I won't with these because they break easily after the time, but you can. Possible. But yeah, I love the original Bandai toys. I have them. I cherish them. They will always have a place in my toy room. But the new Hasbro stuff's like been really tempting.
Right.
The Red Ranger. I will definitely get a Green Ranger if they get them. But there's been a few times a blue has shown up or a yellow. I'm like, no. Nah.
I saw some customs online of like Power Ranger figures that were along the line of a Sideshow or a Hot Toys, like that style cloth, posable.
Yep.
But for display purposes,
yeah.
I don't know why they don't do that. Why don't they make them for collectibles? It always seems like they just keep making toys to go on pegs instead of like I would get a pink and a Green Ranger in the Sideshow 1/6 scale format.
Yep. I think just about licensing, like Hot Toys would have to pick that up and then like make it, or Sideshow too. I'd prefer Hot Toys to Sideshow.
Right.
1/6, but I think it's just a matter of them picking up that license or Saban, being cool with getting that out. And it's crazy that Bandai lost the license in the US to Hasbro. That was crazy.
Yeah.
Billy would also come up with some kind of device using something like a wind-up robot to help. There you go.
Make a rad bug.
Yeah, that thing was always weird.
I love the episodes where you're like, this is a really weird prop, or this kid is dressed really oddly because it's to match the old Japanese footage. You're like, oh, what's this gonna be?
Yep. My brother wouldn't let me play with his Power Rangers toys. Maybe it's because you would break the toys, Heather. That's all I'll say about that.
Oh,
just kidding. Heather was a big Pink Ranger fan. She was all about the Pink Ranger. But again, I could never find one.
Yeah.
They had a Barbie doll one. I think she had like the kind of Barbie doll version of the Pink Ranger.
Being like a 16-year-old boy, I was a big Pink Ranger fan as well.
Well, Amy Jo Johnson is like one of those early crushes.
Yeah.
I think I shared it on Toy Geeks, but she was in Raleigh. She was doing was it last year or the year before at one of our local conventions called GalaxyCon. And a couple of actually Cro-Mag Toys, which I did a video on, they were setting up. They had a booth there, and they were gonna like let me in with one of their vendor passes to hang out there for a day. And I was like, perfect. I would love to meet Amy Jo Johnson. She's like, 90s crushes. She's up there. and she's still gorgeous, and she seems like a perfectly lovely person, everything. So at the time they had a reissued Pink Ranger toy from Bandai. So I picked that up and I was like, perfect. I'm gonna go to sign this. It'll be great. So I get there, I wait in line, I get inside, really excited, and I'm going through the program, and I see that she is not going to be there until Saturday, and I wasn't going to be there on Saturday, so I didn't get to meet Amy Jo Johnson, and I have a Pink Ranger figure sitting in my garage, unopened, unsigned, and very sad. Trini passed away. It's kind of a sad story.
All right.
But yeah, Power Rangers. And you mentioned the movie. I love the new movie. I thought it was fun. I think it's a one and done, but I really dug it. Colleen, you and I watched it. We bought it. I have it on iTunes.
Yeah, I just got on iTunes. It was $4.99.
Oh dang, that's pretty good.
I used that cheap chart, so I almost bought it over the weekend. It was like $14.99. I'm like, and I looked and it's like, oh, it goes on sale like once a month. So boom, it was like literally the next day.
Oh, man, Paul Kane, Amy Jo still loves you, Jay. Oh, thanks, Paul. Paul, I know he's a local toy friend. He is the biggest Power Rangers fan I know. So I think he met Amy Jo that year when I didn't, but it's okay. That's all right. Paul, I would much rather him get to hang out with Power Rangers people than me, because he is to Ghostbusters for me is for Paul, Power Rangers. But anyway, let's see. Oh, Mariana says Hasbro's doing a very good job. They have with the Lightning Collection. I think they've done a fantastic job. And Walter White was in the movie. He was Zordon, and I thought it was cool. I loved how they did the story of how Zordon like came to be Zordon. I thought that was cool.
Right. So in the movie and also on the TV show, Billy is Billy Cranston, named after Bryan Cranston, because Bryan Cranston used to do voices of the monsters on the old Power Rangers show.
Oh, I didn't.
It's kind of cool. Yeah, so it's kind of cool that he came back to play Zordon. I thought he did a great job. I thought it was great. It was great.
Yeah, and then as what's her name as Rita, I thought was fun.
Yeah.
It's kind of it did well enough, right? But it's kind of weird they kind of did it and then bailed out.
Right.
But anyway, Paul says great show. Thank you, Paul. Not just Siddle got to have hard copies. You know, I'm fine not having hard copies. I'll pick them up secondhand. Like again at the flea market, I'll find a Blu-ray for $3. I'll pick it up then. But I like having it digital. Yeah,
mine all centers around space. The space is limited.
Well, I'm looking at your space, and I see a Star Wars VHS board game.
Yeah, my Del Taco trucker hat.
Have you played that game? Because I have owned one. I sold it at a toy show because I never did anything with it. I got a collection and sold it.
If you can't really see it, but that little corner right there says all new Darth Vader footage you've never seen.
Yes.
And so I'm like, all right, VHS dude, pop it in, go to watch it. It's like they got a dude over at Lucasfilm and two other guys to dress like Darth Vader and stormtroopers. There may be or may not be Imperial officers, but they have like a corner set where it has like the walls with the long lights on it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like that, and you can tell they keep shooting the same set like at different angles, and it's just bad. And I want to say that the Darth Vader voice is not James Earl Jones, and he says stuff like, "Can you figure it out?" And then there'll be a countdown like 5 minutes, and you got to sit there and play the board game. It's really, really bad. I think I have it somewhere. If you go through VHS Dude's Twitter, it's somewhere buried in there is some Darth Vader footage from this. I may have to like see if I could put up the whole thing, edit out the parts where you're supposed to stare at the screen with nothing going on. I don't know. It's not great.
Yeah, it's kind of a shame that. Or maybe it's part of its appeal. It's just a lot of those VHS games are awful. And I don't know if you watched Community, but it's a great episode of Community where they have like a VHS game where I'm thinking on his name.
It's like Cowboys, right?
Yeah, it's a Wild West theme, but the guy, it's Vince Gilligan. Gilligan. Vince Gilligan, the guy from Breaking Bad and X-Files. He's starring as the person. It's a great episode. Marina says the 17 had just enough cheese as a throwback to the original. Yeah, exactly. I thought that was fun. And I really dug. I'm blanking on the actor's name that played the Red Ranger, but he also played Billy in
Stranger Things.
Yeah. And
Jasmine.
Yes,
Naomi Scott, who played Jasmine, is the Kimberly.
yep.
And Amy Jo Johnson and David Frank make a cameo.
Yep. And
Green Frank are my two.
And the personalities and the chemistry between all of them worked really well too.
Yeah, I really liked it. I'd like to see more.
With digital, what happens if the service goes away? Have digital and hard copies? Well, you can download the copies so you have them on your own local hard drive. Ralph has one of the most impressive digital hard drive libraries I've ever seen.
Yeah.
You had an impressive library back in 2006.
Right.
Whenever you would run into each other, it'd be like, all right, what's on the hard drive? Let's see.
Everything. And this isn't stuff that like I stole from the internet.
No.
What happened was I used to have at one point, I think something like 600 DVDs. And then when things went over to Blu-ray, I'm like, I can't keep doing this.
Yeah.
So I ripped my DVDs, sold them off for an iPad and an Apple TV, so I could watch the stuff that I ripped.
But I bet just like music collection, like you have an amazing music collection, like just so much stuff. Like, and you're a score guy, so you have like a lot of rare scores as well. Like, I got my copy of the Ghostbusters 2 soundtrack from you,
and Ghostbusters 1.
Yeah,
the Elmer Bernstein.
Mm-hmm.
That wasn't readily available, and I got that part of a CD club that I was on. That and Heartbeats.
What was that called? That club?
Very Saraband.
Yes, because that's how we got the Lost soundtrack, was through them originally, right? And I think they eventually more distributed it farther, but no, that's so yeah, I think that's how, I get it, and I had kind of a run-in with that when I was early on switching to digital and doing iTunes only, and they pulled like half of the Marvel movies. So the Paramount, like the pre-Disney Marvel movies, they pulled all of them off of my streaming library, and I was ticked. And I worked my way up the customer escalation chain and eventually gave me credits back, but they ended up like re-putting them on. I think just when Disney bought the rights, I think they probably actually republished it, and then it showed back up. So that's the only issue I ever had.
Yeah, I've never lost anything in the however many years I've been doing like iTunes downloads.
On Our Own, great jam from that 89 soundtrack, Bobby Brown, On Our Own.
You know it.
You know it. And also, little known fact, actually it's a pretty well known fact, Bobby Brown's cameo in the Ghostbusters 2 film, he is the person at the mayor's house that lets them in. He asks for his proton pack for his kid brother.
Where's that action figure?
It's a good point. Well, maybe Bobby Brown is like really tough on the likeness rights.
But I mean, what I'm saying is like there's only so many Ghostbusters and ghosts you can do as toys. Like I think a con exclusive Bobby Brown give him a proton pack. Give him a proton pack like they actually gave him one. Yes.
That's a great idea.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, it's like when we were talking about the Turtles coming out of their Shell Tour action figures, and it's like kind of a really weird who would get that, but I think Ghostbusters fan would jump all over probably one of the weirdest figures ever, which would be Bobby Brown.
Yes, but I would be all over that. I think it's a great exclusive idea. I think that's a fantastic idea.
All right, get in your toy circles and start putting it out there.
Yeah, all right, everybody in this chat, everybody that I know, let's go. Let's make this happen. Bobby Brown. I don't know what his character's name is in Ghostbusters 2, but you could have because I think Ray and Egon interact with him. You can kind of have like a little diorama set. Let's do it.
2021.
2021 SDCC Hasbro Plasma Series exclusive. So recently, or as of just happened today, we picked up a comic book for Lexi, my youngest, Alex. He's obsessed with Ghostbusters, absolutely obsessed with Ghostbusters. And I swear it's not like I I don't try to push my fandoms on my kid. Like
It's not like Clockwork Orange. You don't have a Clockwork Orange room.
I promise. Like, and again, it's around, and I have these toys, and you know, as long as it's not really easily breakable, they can play with them. I don't care.
Yeah.
But so that might be what it is. But he's obsessed more than Zach's ever been. So Zach loves the SpongeBob comic book. So he was a good kid this week. I was like, all right, let's go to the comic book shop. We'll get you some more SpongeBob comics. And I guess they don't make them anymore. They stopped making them. They haven't been in a little while. And all the back catalog was sold out. So he picked up some Uncle Scrooge comics, which he likes those too. So I was like, oh, let me get Alex a Ghostbusters comic. So I picked up the 4th issue of Ghostbusters Year 1. And I have a tough time keeping up with comic books. I try to get collected, trade paperbacks usually. But this is the 4th issue, so I've missed the first 3, so I gotta try and find those. But it was a really fun read. Like, I know I've really liked what IDW has done with the Ghostbusters story, but it's kind of cool. It's like going back after they beat the Marshmallow Man, after the end of Gozer, and kind of just following along the events, and it kind of focuses on one person. So this is a really fun issue because it kind of goes with what trying to fix the firehouse after it's been blown up. But then it also goes has a flashback story to when right after they get Slimer and they're going back to the firehouse, and there's actually a mishap with trying to put him in the containment unit, and he gets out. And it's a really fun story. So if you haven't, definitely check out this issue. It was a lot of fun. It's a good read.
You said this takes place after the events of the first Ghostbusters?
So yeah, it's the first year after Ghostbusters.
So are they building to year 5, which is Ghostbusters 2?
I would kind of hope so.
Because that's how Ghostbusters 2 starts. It says 5 years later.
Yeah. It'd be cool.
That'd be kind of cool, yeah.
So check it out. It was a really good read. Alex, who's 2.5, we read it as his bedtime story tonight. He loved it. He's like, more. And I was like, this is it. Wait, I gotta find the other issues.
Yeah.
So highly recommend if you haven't already. RGB Egon, greater than I love RGB Egon, don't get me wrong. But I'm cool with new stuff too. Scrooge, yeah, Uncle Scrooge. It's a great. It's been a great comic book for 70 years or 50 years or whatever. It's been around forever. I think yes, they did a multiverse where they brought, and I think we talked about Ralph early on in this live show. It'd be great if they did that in the movies where they kind of showed it as a multiverse. But in the comics, they did it. So they had the 2016 Ghostbusters, the real Ghostbusters, and the movie Ghostbusters, 84 Ghostbusters all together.
And evolution.
There's the evolution drop. Anyway, all right. So let's go into a little bit of geek news.
No, we haven't even touched it.
Which is fine. Yeah. So yeah, some big news on Mulan. This is huge.
Yeah. And there's a little bit of a sort of wrinkle to everything here. So essentially, first of all, Mulan is coming to Disney Plus.
Yes.
Instead of theaters. We've been wondering what's going to be happening with some of these movies that have been supposed to have come out already.
Yeah.
But it's not coming to Disney Plus like everything else does. You're not just going to be able to watch it. If you have a Disney Plus subscription, you could spend $29.99, which unlocks it.
Yep.
Now, I'm not sure, but it sounds like you unlock it for good. It's not just a rental.
Oh,
I don't believe that it's a time limit.
Oh, I thought it was a time thing. Okay.
I'm not 100% sure, but it looks like Disney's using this to bypass like Apple and other, other on-demand companies from taking their money, like taking a cut of the release.
Mm-hmm.
So if this is true, where it's not a timed thing, if it unlocks it for good, it's a fairly good deal. I mean, if you want to keep watching Milan as much as you want, I don't know if the movie is good or not, but you know, like it's pretty cool. And then I'm assuming eventually it'll go to your regular streaming services or your regular video on demand services after that. But it all depends on if you can watch it. 30, I guess, is pretty good considering how much does it cost to take a family to go see a movie.
Yep.
You know, so even if it is just a rental period, you're saving a decent amount of money, but you're not getting that theater experience.
Yeah.
Which would be a theater full of screaming children and whatever. But I mean, it's kind of cool if you can unlock it and then just watch it whenever. It's a pretty good deal. So we'll see. I haven't really heard anything set in stone, but I mean, hey, you know, it depends on the movie. Like if they do this for Black Widow, 100% I'll drop $30 to watch Black Widow.
Yeah. And you know, I think we're both people that like going to the movies. I like Colleen and I love the movies. We have a movie club to our movie theater that's across the street, the Cinemark. And we go to the movies all the time, at least maybe once a week. And boys for other things, you know. So either just Colleen and I, and thanks to the parents that watch the kids, or we'll go like during the day on a lunch break or something, an extended lunch break. Like we'll go all the time. Right. So we miss it bad. We miss it really bad. And you know, there's been some of the rentals where it's been fun to have a little taste of it. And yeah, I think we were kind of in it $30, even if it got taken away. But I think if they leave it on there, I think that's a game changer. I really do. Right.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. And then I'm assuming eventually it'll be available for everybody else.
Yeah.
The regular, like maybe 6 months, 4 months, I don't know. But it sounds like this is kind of cool because they have full control over it.
Yeah.
And then they start making money, and I get to continue my furlough at the park. But you know, it's interesting.
Yeah,
it's interesting that they're bypassing, you know, Apple, iTunes, and all that stuff. So
it makes sense though, because you know they've spent all this money on Disney Plus. They've really gone all in on it. I mean, they put Hamilton on there, which they spent $75 million for the right.
And Beyonce's album.
Yep.
It's so, and I like it. There's a lot of cool stuff on there.
It's great.
I heard Clone Wars is cool. That's on there. I mean, like, hey, listen, I you know, if it get like, I might just buy Mulan, even though I'm not a fan of the original. It's not my cup of tea.
Yeah.
But I'll buy it if it means Disney sees it as a success.
Yes.
And we can get like Black Widow.
Yeah.
And start moving forward with some of this stuff and bringing more Star Wars content and you know,
I agree.
I'll play the game.
Yeah.
You know, the service right now at $6.99 is like the cheapest streaming you can get. So for 2 months of HBO Max, I can watch Milan and, you know, it makes up for the amount I'm saving already with Disney Plus.
Yeah.
So.
I save so much because like now there's this from Fox, Disney, Marvel, Lucasfilm. Right. I'm not buying the digital versions anymore, which, you know, and I try to, I'm not as good at you, but I do try to wait to see if it drops on one of those deals. And I've bought so much fewer with HBO Max and Disney Plus, but especially Disney Plus, because it's all there and it's totally worth it. And I don't know if you took part in that D23 deal. So I got the 3 years at, I don't know, $3.95 a year or a month or something. So I think $150 or something, $120 for 3 years. So yeah, like I'm all in on this, and I've absolutely loved it. But you know, Taka does share a good point here. I miss Video Store, something about touching base and staring at the artwork and stuff. Absolutely.
Right.
Like
that's what I'm here for. That's why I did VHS, dude.
Yeah.
Is because I missed that stuff. You don't get that anymore. Even posters now are all photoshopped.
Yeah.
You don't get a lot of painted posters anymore, and I kind of miss that. Every once in a while, you'll see one, and it's just like, oh my gosh! Even the crappiest movies,
Yeah.
had amazing covers on VHS
Yep.
because that would get people to take it off the shelf.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I mean, that was
100% agree.
Yeah. But there was downfalls too, because a lot of times like the new releases you would go, and it got better over time, but I remember a lot of times you would go and you'd want that, and you'd go and there'd just be nothing behind the tape, like, no, I want this so bad. But it is part of the experience, and those tapes too that I would just go and rent over and over and over again, or get a movie that I would never watch. I remember one that I picked up at a little crappy video store near one of my grandparents' house in the desert in California. So outside of like Palmdale, Antelope Valley, middle of nowhere, desert, outside Los Angeles. And it was Blank Man. Do you remember Blank Man? Have you seen it?
Marlon Wayans.
Yeah, Marlon Wayans. I loved it so much. I went back and rented that tape.
Damon Wayans. Sorry,
Damon Wayans. It's a Wayans Brothers production.
Yeah, it's Damon Wayans.
Because I think is David Allen Greer is in it as well. I haven't seen it in forever, but I just remember I watched that tape so many times. But again, just movies like that where no way in hell would you normally, like in today's world, would I find that movie, and it's just a funky cover and it just looked fun, and I just loved that movie. Absolutely loved it. All right. So a lot of physical media fans here. Again, like you're talking to one of the kings of VHS. Listen, when my friends were like, VHS, dude? And I'm like, yeah. He's my friend.
Sure.
I knew him before he was VHS.
Yeah, you know me way before.
Oh, man. All right, other news. We did have a couple other things that you brought up for today. Anything else that you want to like definitely?
What's up with this Knight Rider movie?
Yeah,
this is the first time hearing about it. James Wan, who directed Aquaman and Fast and Furious 7, is producing a Knight Rider movie. Cool. I'm on board.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. I loved Aquaman. I thought it was great. I thought that was a fantastic movie.
And Furious 7 is awesome too. Like hey, listen, it depends on who's playing Michael Knight, and it depends on what they do with Kit. If they go and set it in the 80s. Set it in the 80s.
Yeah.
Play with that.
Yep.
Play with it. It depends on who they get to play Kit.
Yeah. No, I agree. Please don't make it a silly comedy. But there's something like Starsky and Hutch I thought was fun because the original Starsky and Hutch is awful. So I did like how that one was.
Well, it doesn't have to be a comedy, but it could be fun like a Fast and Furious movie.
Yes. Agreed.
Like it could be, over the top.
Did you watch was it NBC did a Knight Rider revival a few years ago?
No, I remember seeing Kit outside of Comic-Con.
Yes.
Over by the train tracks, and I was like, it was like a Mustang or something.
It was a Mustang. It's like,
I'm like, sorry, I can't.
But I mean, I'm down. I'm down with it. Whatever.
The greatest theme song in television history?
Who said?
Pretty close.
Really? You think Knight Rider is?
The theme song? Dude. There's a video. You'll have to look it up. There's a video of a woman playing the violin, playing all the parts of the Knight Rider theme. So she like splits her screen up like, Brady Bunch style, split screen. And she does every track in the violin for the Knight Rider theme. Dude, if you don't get pumped up during that, I don't know what.
Good. It's good. Like, don't get me wrong, but best all time. I don't know if I could, but listen. Themes are subjective. They're subjective.
It's one of the best.
Yes. But is it better? Is it better than Chip 'n Dale Rescue Rangers? I don't know. I don't know if I can put up there with that.
Dude, Chip 'n Dale's isn't even the best Disney afternoon theme song. DuckTales is. No. Gummy Bears, then DuckTales, then Tailspin, then Darkwing Duck, then Rescue Rangers.
I mean, I can't. They're all so good. Is this a relative of yours, Molly Apple?
My mom.
Oh, mom. Yes. Yes. Love it.
She's the one that wanted. I told her I'd give her my beard when I'm done with it. Man, my beard is so nuts. It's getting so out of control. I don't know what's happening in this thing right here.
A lot of Molly love in the chat. All music. Hi, Molly. Welcome. Old School Shinobi. Hello, Molly. She's popular. Very popular. VHS Mom. Yes.
Stop, guys. All right.
I love it. I love it. So your Gummy Bears won on Disney Afternoon theme songs?
I mean, like I said, I'm older than you, so Gummy Bears was kind of more my wheelhouse.
I started with Gummy Bears was all there was for the first few years.
But I mean, Rescue Rangers is definitely not above DuckTales ever. There's no way. Like DuckTales would be number one.
I listen. I'm not trying to start a fight, okay?
But I mean, okay. But what I'm saying is, Knight Rider beats all the Disney Afternoon. I don't want to get the flagged. Doing an awesome rendition of Knight Rider.
It's such a good rendition that it gets flagged by the algorithm. Copyright. Oh man. All right. Also, I did want to talk about this a little bit because Colleen and I were talking about this before I jumped on. Tom Hanks as Geppetto, like one of the big rumors out of the week.
Here's the deal. In today's current climate, should Geppetto be Italian?
Geppetto's, I guess he's an Italian dude.
Yeah, is Tom Hanks Italian?
No, and I asked Colleen. Now she is like 98% Italian. She's the most Italian genetically person that I personally know. I'm married to her. She was fine with it. She was like, "No, Tom Hanks can play anything. He's Tom Hanks. He's the universal language of actors."
Right.
But
I'm cool with it.
I kind of agree though. Like, again, love Tom Hanks. Don't get me wrong. I don't know if you listened to the recent Conan podcast with Tom Hanks. It was
right, yeah.
So no, like, yeah, I love him, but I kind of agree. Like, I feel like it would be neat if they kind of leaned into the Italian roots a little bit, which would be fun. The JTT version.
Never watched it.
It was bad. It was very bad.
Yeah. This is Disney, so it's going to have Jiminy Cricket, and that's exciting. I want to see how they transform Jiminy Cricket, if they're going to do it like a realistic cricket, or if they're going to, I mean, it's got to be, or are they going to do like that Dumbo movie and just omit like Timothy Mouse? They have to have Jiminy in it.
And that's where it's tough, because Lion King didn't work for me because it was, okay, it's just a lion, and a talking lion looks weird. Mm-hmm. And so if it's just a talking cricket, it's not going to be the same. And have we talked about Robin Hood? Which
I want Jon Favreau. I want Jon Favreau to do Disney's Robin Hood. Use that animal technology, but make them have like the cartoon faces.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah, I'd watch that.
Absolutely. I'm kind of, because Pinocchio is like one of the most beautiful animated films of all time. Like, it's stunning. Like, with Disney Plus now, we're watching a lot of the classics with the boys, and yeah, it's one of the best, if not the best animated film of all time. Here's my second version of
we watched
Diamond series, Pinocchio.
When Disney Plus came along, we started watching all the Disney movies in chronological order.
Nice.
All the animated feature, the animated features.
Mm-hmm.
Stalled out at Fox and the Hound.
I haven't seen that since the tape. Is it bad?
It's just a bummer. I know it's a bummer.
Yep.
So
But
we didn't
but
make
after
that far.
Fox and Hound, don't you go to Black Cauldron after Fox and Hound?
Yeah, I think that's where that starts. Like Black Cauldron, Oliver and Company. Um, what's the other
No,
one? Great Mouse Detective.
Great Mouse Detective is really good though. Great Mouse Detective is pretty good.
Great music too.
Oliver and Company's but then you got Little Mermaid, then you're in the Renaissance.
Yeah.
So really, it's just a couple more movies you got to get through to get to
Yeah.
Where do you stop at Disney Renaissance? For me, I think I stop at Pocahontas. I think that's when I aged out.
It was kind of off and on because after Lion King, I don't think I really watched much after that. I didn't care for Aladdin, and I still don't care for Aladdin.
Interesting.
I started to get real snobby about animation.
Yeah.
And I did not care for the use of CG in Aladdin.
Interesting.
I was okay with the carpet. I wasn't okay with the Well of Souls, the whatever it's called, with the lava, and it literally looked like a video game. It looked like Tron when they were flying through it. Didn't care for that. And then it was around 97. I started taking animation classes, and I started getting really into Tarzan. And I started noticing it for the craft and their use of CG in that. They used the process called Deep Canvas, where they did 3D models but painted it by hand digitally. So it looked like painted backgrounds that were able to move in a 3D space. And then Hercules, I like Hercules again. Hercules had an amazing art style, had a real two-dimensional flat sort of Greek style. Like looked like a vase or something. But and then it's kind of in and out.
I think I stopped at Pocahontas, and I don't think I really paid attention to any of them until I was a camp counselor, and then started watching all the movies again because you watch with kids. But anyway, what was the Atlantis one? I think it was called wasn't like Atlantis 2000 or something like that.
Atlantis, the city of lost
treasure of it, I don't know,
something.
Home killed 2D. It did for a minute. All right. Well,
Princess and the Frog is still good.
It's fantastic. But anyway, I think that's a good place to call it. Ralph, anything else that you want to last words? Oh, here we go. Ryan Moore.
Oh boy.
Ryan.
Lost Empire. Got it. Great score, James Newton Howard. And James Newton Howard also did the score for Treasure Planet. Another great score. He also did the score for Dinosaur. Awesome scores, not the greatest movies.
Also not the greatest ride. It's like a knockoff Indiana Jones ride at Disney World, or the animal one. Animal Kingdom? And what do they call that one? Is that Animal Kingdom? I don't know.
Animal Kingdom. The Lost Empire.
Anyway, all right. Well, Ralph, you have been sharing a lot of videos on you've been picking up a lot of vinyl lately. Where can we go follow you on the Twitters and everywheres?
Since I haven't been leaving the house and have nothing else to do, I've been collecting vinyl because they take up this much shelf space. Just slide it right in there. So I kind of been overdoing it with showing the vinyl that I've been listening to, but what else am I supposed to do? I'm kind of stuck at home. That's my personal page. You can find that if you just look up Casino Skunk on any platform. You'll find me personally, also VHS too. But go to casinoskunk.com and that'll give you everything you need to know.
Everything. All right. Well, and for those watching Facebook or whatever, the next episode of Geek Dad Life drops Saturday, new Ghostbusters video, and then Sunday, a live stream that is not this show, the Toy Geeks podcast. It's myself and John, a good toy buddy of mine. We're going to be recapping the news from the PowerCon updates from the next 2 days for a lot of the Motu Origins news. So be on the lookout for that on our Facebooks and the YouTubes and all that fun stuff. All right. Well, that'll do it for this week. We'll be back next week, and maybe I'll get that text from Ralph on like Tuesday or Wednesday. Like, I just finished Clone Wars and I need to talk about it. Maybe I'll get that text Tuesday, Wednesday, maybe Thursday morning. Either way, whenever that happens, just know We're gonna be all in on the Clone Wars talk. It'll be like Jack Black's YouTube page where it was supposed to be him playing video games. Like, no video games this week, but let's do something else. All right. Well, that'll do it. We'll see all of y'all next time. Hasta luego and goodbye.
Watch Power Rangers.